I think we live in such interesting times right now. It seems like we are leaving the era where just logic and intellect is prioritized over emotions, intuition, the body. It really feels like there is this strong, undeniable wave towards reconnecting to the body, honoring the body as a really important piece of ourselves, not a piece of us that we have to tame or control or discipline. It feels like that's what the previous era really encouraged us to do. I think about the way society around me spoke about health and about success and about raising children and you name it. Probably I could go on and on. Think about the way society spoke about all of these things. And there was so much language about control and discipline and overcoming and accomplishing. And so much of it seemed to be about how to suppress our natural urges, how to overcome our natural urges, how to teach us to step into more disciplined, productive, palatable versions of ourselves, whether it's through really tightly controlled diets, workout regimes, punishment and discipline for children, working really, really hard to get better and better and better at sitting at that desk, doing that work, following someone else's timetable, arrive when someone else wants you to arrive, do the work when someone else wants you to do the work. There was so much emphasis on adapting to external deadlines, external structures, external measures of success. And it seems like the people who thrived the best in that world were the people who got really, really good at discipline and suppressing any messages or feelings from the body that got in the way of those goals. But I feel like where we are now is shifting into a way more holistic understanding of ourselves and just honestly naming that for so many of us, that's not really the way we want to live. That's not the best way for joy to flow in and to feel expressed. And success for so many people now has less to do with getting the highest marks, making the most money. But for so many people now, they're able to name that success feels like I contribute in the way that makes my heart expand. I give and act and live in a way that makes me feel like it's my most authentic self getting to express itself. And so with this shift into this new era that I think so many people are feeling, one of the new most important skills for thriving is relearning the language of your own body. Your body, your emotions are part of the internal compass that guides you. So if you're not going to be bound to somebody else's vision, if you're not going to take on someone else's external goals as your own, if you aren't going to use someone else's measures of success as yours, it means that you have to create your own. You have to create your own vision. You have to connect to your own authentic self. You have to create your own goals. You have to discern your own next best steps. How is it really aligned for you to move in this world? And in order to do that, you have to connect to your own guidance system, your own internal compass, your own body, your own way to discern. And I know for myself, even though I know oh my gosh, I want to honor my body. I want to connect to my own wisdom. I want to connect to my own guidance. I want my own internal guidance system to lead me. There are still moments where I feel stuck and confused, like I can't find the wisdom, I can't find the direction inside me. And I think that makes a lot of sense because for so many decades, I lived disconnected from the language of my own body. I think a lot of people do. I think about the shift from being at home with my family, with my parents who love me and are tuned to me and taking care of me. And I think about the shift into the school system. And I think about the rules around going to the washroom and having to wait. That's one of the first lessons you learn in kindergarten. When you feel your natural urges that you have to go to the washroom, instead of trusting that and going, taking care of your body, you have to raise your hand, you have to ask to go. Someone might tell you no, then it's your job to clench and hold it in. Think about that. Think about how early we start to learn, nope, can't automatically listen to my body. Same when you start moving into the older grades and you're sitting at a desk. If your body wants to get up and move and stretch and run, nope, too bad, sit still, suppress the urge. I think about all the moments where something's supposed to be serious, whether that's in class, in church, at a dinner table, who knows where, and the need to suppress your laughter. I think about so many times something was funny being young and just needing to clamp down on the pure, beautiful expression of laughter to not get in trouble by a teacher or some other authority figure. I think about all the times where I wanted to cry, but I thought, do not cry. Do not cry. It's not appropriate here. Hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. I developed a weird little habit. In order to counteract my crying, I plastered on like the most intense smile to try to counteract my tears. I know not everybody has the exact same experience of, going into school, but there are so many messages from so many pieces and places in society that tell us to clamp down on the messages, push through discomfort, be more disciplined, be tougher, suppress this, keep going. You don't have the luxury of feeling your feelings. I think about how many times and how many ways I've heard that. And for so long, I did my best to listen. I did my best to try to train myself to push through, keep going. Don't be so sensitive. Don't trust that urge that tells me what I want to eat, when I want to eat, when I want to rest, when I want to move. Nope, suppress it in favor of somebody else's schedule, somebody else's agenda. And so no wonder now, when I want to trust in my own wisdom and my own guidance, no wonder it's not automatic. No wonder it takes a minute to rebuild that connection. But I think the most beautiful, beautiful thing is, even after a lifetime of neglecting our bodies or the messages our bodies are trying to send to us, our bodies are still speaking. How devotional is that? That after a lifetime of not listening, our bodies still get hungry or feel pain or feel a pang or feel a clenched stomach or tell you need to rest or give you goosebumps or tingles or spidey senses. If you feel any of those things ever, it means your body is still speaking. And if your body is still speaking to you, it means there's still an opportunity to reconnect and to relearn the language. We were all probably born with a very innate ability to understand our body's language, and we have very much lost fluency in that. However, the process of repeatedly tuning into the feelings, the sensations, the messages we're getting from our body, we can become fluent in ourselves again. For me, it is taking a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of devotion and remembering to continue to turn towards my body, to listen. So this process of relearning the language of our bodies, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes tuning in over and over and over again. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it to have a whole functioning system again that isn't at war with itself. That's one thing that feels so good. To not only have clear messages and wisdom and guidance pointing you in the right direction or towards what's good for you and away from what's bad for you. That's wonderful. And you no longer have to live with that feeling like you're fighting against yourself. Like one part of you is pulling you this way with the shoulds of the world, and the other part of you is pulling you this way with the instincts of your body. It feels so good to realize that all parts of you are meant to function together. And it's just about rewiring, reconnecting to have this whole system function together. And so even if you also have been disconnected from the language of your body for years and years or a lifetime, you can always come back. It is your birthright. We were made this way. And if your body is still speaking with any sensations, good, bad, subtle, loud, your body hasn't given up on you. And there's always a chance to reconnect.